Everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Pittsburgh, Omar Khan have been extremely busy to start free agency with a slew of signings. We are up to already 5 external free agents being signed over the first week of the new league year. So what I want to do today is just do a real quick synopsis and just summary of my favorite thing, my favorite trait, characteristic about the 5 free agents that have been signed. This will not be a full, in-depth, comprehensive breakdown. There are negatives to talk about as well, as there is with any player, but just a quick summary on the best trait I like about the 5 guys Pittsburgh has brought in. So we'll start with cornerback Patrick Peterson, and my favorite thing about Pat Pete is his football IQ and his intelligence, and that comes as no surprise for a cornerback heading into year 13. 2 clips to show that football IQ. We'll start with 2021 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, his first year in Minnesota. There's Peterson, the left cornerback at the top. Pittsburgh running this sprint out smash concept. So a smash concept, 2-man route with a curl and a corner route. And so the read here is on the cornerback. If he sits on the curl, you throw the corner route. You throw the deep route in this smash concept. If the cornerback is playing cover 3, if he sinks to take away the corner route, you throw the curl underneath. And so Peterson is sitting, squatting on the curl initially. Ben looks for the curl, realizes the cornerback's going to drive. It's going to be a low-profit play, probably a catch, but really not much of a gain on the play. And so he goes to his second read, reading low to high, wants the corner route, but Peterson sees that as well and gets stepped and takes away that route. So he takes away both concepts on the smash, really sitting on the curl to force the quarterback, force Ben to go to the corner route, the 7 route, we call it right here. But then he sinks and gets stepped and takes away that as well. That forces Ben to go to his third option, which is not what you want here on this concept, to try to come back across the field to hit Chase Claypool. And this pass is incomplete. So you see the football IQ. We'll go through it one more time. Reading Ben and reading Peterson. Once the curl here initially, Peterson squatting on it, and then you see Ben progress to the second part of the progression on the corner route, but Peterson gets stepped, takes that away. That forces Ben to go elsewhere, and the defense gets the stop. One more clip to show Peterson's football IQ. This is in 2022 against the Eagles. 3rd and 5. That will be relevant here in a second. Here's Peterson up to the top as the left cornerback. Eagles, a receiver, running a double move, the stop and go on this route, and you see Peterson defend it well, despite maybe losing some speed, not the 4.38 guy he was when he came out of LSU over a decade ago, but still does not get fooled, does not take the cheese on this double move. And so when I say 3rd and 5, that's important because you, as a quarterback, you have to understand where routes tend to break. And if you're in a 3rd and 5 situation and the receiver's going to run a curl, he's basically going to break down at the sticks. Maybe a yard, half-yard pass to give yourself a little bit of margin for error when you come back to the football. But there's where the marker is at. So if you're going to break down, you're going to break down basically right now to try to run that curl at the sticks, catch the ball, and convert on 3rd down. So when the corner or when the receiver is breaking down a couple yards past the sticks, generally that's not where that route's going to break. And so that's signaling to Peterson this is probably going to be a double move of some sort, and he's actually going to run vertically. He's not committing. He's kind of sitting on it just in case, but he's not driving and trying to be overly aggressive on the appearance of this curl route of coming to fruition based on the down and distance. And so that allows Peterson to be able to defend the double move aspect when the receiver gets vertical. Again, I know to the bottom of the screen, you're seeing the curl being run well past 5 yards. That is likely a sight adjustment. So the read here for the receiver is if you can beat this guy vertically, you're going to run it vertically. If he's playing off and loose and bail technique here, opening up his hips, then you're going to just break down and take that free access, and the quarterback is going to hit you, and that's what happens on this play. So just want to explain that. But at the top here, you're seeing Peterson. And I've seen this across his tape. Overall, all cornerbacks get beat. There's a really good clip of Jamar Chase cooking him, but that's Jamar Chase. But you're seeing him be able to read, process, understand down, distance, where routes break, and defends the double move. Moving on to former New York Jets offensive guard Nate Herbig, and my favorite trait is a pretty obvious one, the nasty, the physicality, the finish in which Herbig plays with. And of course, his name is apt. He's a pretty massive human being. This is 2022 against the Steelers, and you see him here drive his feet and finish on Larry Ogunjobi. And this is early in the game. It's one of the first snaps of the game, so I just love the tone that's being set. I'm going to finish these blocks. I'm going to make you mad. You saw him all game scrapping with Ogunjobi, scrapping with Miles Jack, getting on the ground with Montravius Adams, and you see this guy really setting that tone here. So cuts him off here, doesn't allow Ogunjobi to get his head fully across, but run his feet the whole way through. Little shove at the end just to say, hey, I'm going to be here all day. That's how this game is going to go. And you hear Herbig talk to the media. That's his mentality as well. So a nice job here to keep his feet driving and finish this block. Another example of some of that nasty and finish you see in Herbig's game. Again, the right guard right here. And I just mentioned him on Montravius Adams. We're going to look at this clip right now. The torque he's able to generate. The right tackle is helping as well. So I want to give him credit. But you see Herbig plays with good hand placement, able to refit his hands. You see him get inside of Montravius Adams on this play and just have torque to take this guy to the ground, bury him, and then just gonna, I think it's the old Ron Sherry giving him the business, which is one of my favorite phrases and sayings in football history. Just, making sure that Adams feels the weight of this block the whole way through, despite this ball going away. So you just like the mentality, the finish, the physicality. He's a good run blocker overall. He's running his feet, and he's going to finish his blocks. How about the linebackers? Starting with Cole Holcomb, signed to a 3-year deal. I do like his sideline-to-sideline chase, overall athleticism. I didn't maybe have the best clips in the game I watched to perfectly illustrate that. So what I'll choose for Holcomb is some of the block shedding, block deconstruction. I will say he can get swallowed up by some of these big guards and centers. That's going to be common for a lot of linebackers, just a size kind of game. But I think overall, you see Holcomb do a better job than, say, Devin Bush or a Miles Jack last year to disengage and get off a block. So you see the center, Josh Myers, try to work to the second level. I know the angle was a bit tough for the center here, so it's kind of maybe a bit easier, quote-unquote, for Holcomb. But you see him be able to bounce off of this block, not get knocked off balance when Myers climbs and reaches him, keep vision on the running back, and make that tackle on A.J. Dillon. And so you're seeing him be able to, discard that block, not get knocked off balance, not get turned or washed, keep his vision on the football the whole way through, and his first man in on that tackle. Pyle moves a bit, but that's what happens when you try to tackle A.J. Dillon. So overall, I think it's a good rep here just by Holcomb showing him getting off of blocks. Now we'll take a look at Holcomb against the Tennessee Titans in 2022. Here is Holcomb in the middle, number 55. The Titans are going to run this power play, this gap run with the guard pulling, and Holcomb's able to key that. He's going to watch the right tackle climb to him on this play, but Holcomb's able to go underneath it, beat the block, and meet the runner to chip in on the tackle. And so a nice job here by Holcomb to be able to beat this block with a good angle. Maybe a bit of risk here trying to go inside, trying to go under as opposed to over, but you try to go over. That lineman's going to be able to probably get hands on you and start pushing you a bit. So a nice job here by Holcomb. Didn't necessarily be the first man to make the play. You're seeing penetration here on the front side, but just watching Holcomb specifically get under this block, reading this one, reading the puller, following him, getting under this block, getting skinny, reducing that surface area, and then coming in to clean things up. So a nice job overall. Again, he can get washed. He's not, a great run stuffer defender. He's not, what Robert Spillane brought or Mark Robinson brought or anything like that. But I do think his hand use, getting off of blocks, does a nice job, technically speaking, whenever he's not overwhelmed. And that's an encouraging trait to stop the run. The other inside linebacker, Elandon Roberts, coming over from Miami. Favorite thing about him, pretty easy selection here. The quick trigger, the downhill, aggressive nature Roberts possesses against the run. He's a two-down guy. He plays the run. That's how he gets paid in the NFL. So here is Roberts against the Baltimore Ravens in the low red zone, about 5 yards out. And you're going to watch him take on the puller here, Josh Oliver, a very good blocking tight end who got paid handsomely by the Minnesota Vikings. And you see him just attack that and just fling his body in. Roberts reminds me a lot of Mark Robinson. They play pretty similar. Their sizes are pretty similar. I'm encouraged and excited for Robinson in year 2, which kind of makes Roberts a little bit redundant, but creating some depth there. That's a whole different conversation. But on this play, just watch him attack that. Watch him attack that, blows that play up, and forces the running back to immediately change his path, get outside the structure of the play, and the Dolphins swarm to be able to bring him down in the backfield. So watch. That's Roberts right there, just right into the hip of Oliver and basically into the running back as well. Totally changes that path, and being on the 5-yard line or the 4-yard line, whatever it is, this becomes a 3 or 4 yard loss. So watch Roberts right there. The trigger, the aggressiveness, and that power, just boom, right there on Oliver, stands him up, and that forces the back to change direction. That's Kenyon Drake. So one last look. Here's Roberts, and that's going to play well with the Steelers. Another example against Baltimore. You want to watch a linebacker and how he plays to run. I always turn on the Baltimore tape, and so watch this one. That's one of the first games I studied with Elandon Roberts. 4th and 1. So big people situation, looking like an Iowa Northwestern type game. I mean, it is all big people here. It's 3 tight ends. Dolphins have 6 down linemen here on this play. And so it is big on big, 4th and 1. You know they're going to run the football. Can you stop it? That's going to be the key. And here is Roberts, number 52. And again, seeing that trigger, blowing this up, taking out 2 pullers essentially. Again, one of them being the tight end, Josh Oliver. And so I think he sees that maybe at the last second, watches Andrews come across. Roberts keying that, knowing, okay, the flow is going to go over here to the left. And so Roberts immediately attacking that, getting downhill, taking on 1 puller, getting a piece of the other, blowing this one up. May not be solely responsible for the tackle. I don't know for sure who got credit for the tackle on this play, but you can certainly give Roberts an assist because of what he does here to take on the pullers. They can't take on their responsibilities in the blocking scheme, and Jackson is stood up short of the line to gain, and Miami gets the stop on 4th and 1. Not many teams stopping this Ravens offensive line, their run game, and Lamar Jackson on 4th and 1, but you see Roberts again, quick trigger, downhill, fearless, will sacrifice his body for somebody else to actually make the play, but you see Roberts really aggressive to that spot, blowing up the pullers, and the Dolphins get the stop. And finally, the newest Pittsburgh Steeler, at least as of this recording on Sunday afternoon, at the rate Omar Khan is going, there could be a dozen more by the time you're actually watching this video. I say that tongue-in-cheek. But Isaac Seumalo, the offensive guard from the Philadelphia Eagles, the Andy Weidl connection, running strong this offseason. He's the right guard, the big man, hard to miss with the hair in this clip against the Steelers in 2022. Love the strength, love the anchor on this play facing Chris Wormley. That's a great pass per rep, one-on-one on an island. Getting hands on him early, being able to move his feet, and just a really strong anchor. So my favorite thing about Isaac Seumalo, I forgot to mention that, is that anchor, that power that he plays, and keeping the depth of the pocket, not allowing the pocket to get collapsed. It's going to allow Kenny Pickett to hitch and climb and be able to navigate the pocket more cleanly, and that's going to be important for him and for any quarterback. And so you really see the power here. I want to watch this also from the aerial view. I don't know if this was taught the exact same way in Philadelphia by the great offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland as it's taught in Pittsburgh by Pat Meyer, but you're seeing some of the aggressive, you could call this in Pittsburgh an on-body pass set, which is going to result in a really aggressive forward set. You never give ground. You're going to be the aggressor. You're going to get that first significant contact. It really asks a lot out of the guards. They want big people. They want long people to get hands on early. They want strong people. And Seumalo has all 3 of those things. I think his arms are 33 plus inches. That's going to play well at guard. But you see him here be able to anchor, be aggressive, and really win this battle early. I showed videos last year, James Daniels, how he improved, struggled there early in the season, adjusting to Myers' techniques, getting hands on early, trying to win early. You see Seumalo do a great job of that here. So really to break this down in one last look, that quick set here, not giving ground and just getting hands-on, and just look at the depth of the pocket here. Look at this pocket for Jalen Hurts. I mean, that is a perfect pocket here, and Seumalo was certainly part of that in that great Eagles offensive line. And unfortunately for Steelers fans, it's A.J. Brown scoring one of his 27 touchdowns that day. But one last look from the end zone view, and we'll watch Seumalo just get hands-on and win this rush early, and that's what you want to see for the Pittsburgh Steelers and for Kenny Pickett. And our last clip here, staying with the theme of Isaac Seumalo in keeping the depth of the pocket, the anchor that he has in pass protection. You see him here against the one tech, and a really good one. Grover Stewart is not a household name when it comes to, I think, the NFL at large. Maybe you know him, and kudos to you if you do, but Grover Stewart, really good interior defensive lineman for the Colts. And you see Seumalo, again, that anchor, the strength, the base that he has, that big lower half, and Stewart just does nothing against him. So power rushes, Seumalo generally does not get walked back. There are some issues against outside shade, 3 techs this time. It's more of an inside shade guy, I think, where he's going to work best. And so you see just a great anchor here by Seumalo. And I do want to go back to the aerial view, especially watching the pass sets. You can really see the aggressiveness better from the top-down view as opposed to the end zone view. Again, watching Seumalo right here, and you see that really aggressive set. You're not giving ground, not getting depth here, not trying to be conservative and worried about getting beat. We're going to be the aggressor on-body set here, get hands-on early, and win this rush. And so you see that here from Seumalo, and I mean, he's just not getting walked back. And bull rushes, I try to give a lot of leeway to, because it's not fun. When a 300-pound defensive lineman is running straight into you, you're going to give up some ground. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to, have TKOs unless it's just a completely unfair type of fight, unless you're a Hall of Famer, a Larry Allen type of guy. But you just see Seumalo, he really does not allow any ground here. It's one of the best jobs you'll see somebody defend the bull rush all year. And I think throughout the game, you saw Stewart get kind of tired and worn down, and just that bull rush was not working. And again, last point here, job of the interior offensive line under Pat Meyer is they are responsible for the depth of the pocket. The tackles are responsible for the width of the pocket. So the tackles keep things wide. They keep these guys to the outside, away from the quarterback. The interior offensive line, the two guards, the center, they are responsible for the depth of the pocket. Do not allow the pocket to collapse. Do not allow these guys to get penetration. And again, you wonder why the Eagles were the Super Bowl representative of the NFC. Check out that pocket. I mean, Jalen Hurts, a great year. Kudos to him, but life is good whenever you have pockets like this. The offensive line setting the width of the pocket here. These tackles pushed upfield, not touching Jalen Hurts. They're engaged. And yeah, the depth of the pocket, I know it's a deeper draw from Hurts on this play, but that is a lot of room to navigate for an NFL quarterback. You're not going to see that too often, and you hit A.J. Brown in stride for a big explosive play. So Seumalo will keep the depth of the pocket for sure. Excited about him. The overall signings, we can talk about that. There's a mixed bag. There's things I like, things I don't like. Don't want to focus too much on that today. Just want to focus on the old scouting adage of what the player can do for you as opposed to what he can't do for you. And so I'm not trying to be all sunshine and roses and say everything is perfect. All these signings are amazing. I just want to focus on the things I like about these guys in the video, the one top trait that I think will be the best asset to them and to this team. So I wanted to kind of run through them all. I know I hadn't done any updates recently on some of the individual signings. They've been coming in some sort of crazy times, but I wanted to really save it to do a full comprehensive, of the group at least, tape breakdown on my favorite trait of these guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. If you could like this video and also subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. Again, thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.